Fuck y'all all day, rather see y'all depart. Away from the mic, you shall call me underdog of the dog days. Imitation of all greats, feel like the game now it's awful. Doing this with no fee, while y'all worry how much it costs you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Coming at you guys with something completely like out of the blue, not normal or anything. We're going to be interviewing a rap artist, and not just like gaming rap artist or something you would expect here, but like an actual just rap artist who I found a few days ago and was very pleased to have found. He goes by the name of Gold Midas. He's got 2 albums. He's got Dog Days and Dark Hour. Personal favorites from Dog Days are probably like I Won't Do Shit Today, Cocky, and Dog Days. And then from Dark Hour, I'd say it's Revolution Dancing, Coffee Hoppin' Blues, and Dog Days Are Over. So yeah, why don't you introduce yourself, good sir?
What's up? I'm just a 20-year-old regular guy from South Florida who just happens to make music. You know, that's all I really am. I'm just a regular guy who just has a passion for hip-hop.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. I'm gonna ask this question here. So, when did you start, like, rapping? Like, when you realized that, hey, this is something I kind of want to, like, do?
I don't think I ever, like, told myself, oh, this is it. This is what I have to do for the rest of my life. It kind of just fell into place. It started when, it was 5th grade. It's such a weird story, but I was listening. I had just gotten into like NWA and stuff like that. Like I was heavy into Dre and Snoop and all that, and Ice Cube. And then I would dig through my dad's CD box full of CDs, and I just ran into an Eminem CD called the Marshall Mathers LP. And there was a song named Kim on there that I loved because it was so aggressive, and he was just saying like, you know, a big fuck you to the person that he loves and all that. And so in 5th grade, I had a crush on this girl named Audrey, and I basically, you know, I confessed and she rejected me. Oh. So when I went home, you know, I listened to that song so many times, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write a song to her. And it was mentally to the instrumental of that song, to Kim. So yeah, I just wrote a long ass song. It probably didn't make sense for shit, but yeah, a long ass song just bashing her and stuff, and that's kind of where it started, cause of a broken heart.
Oh, that is a good story actually. I like that. Nice and Eminem, man. Oh, good old Eminem. Man, I haven't heard that album in clean forever, dude.
Oh hell yeah! Like I've been kind of like I don't know what's not the right word for it. It's just lately he's just not been in my taste, because I wasn't feeling the last album or the album before that, and I think his verse on the Dr. Dre album was kind of unnecessary. I don't know. He's too old for all that now, I feel.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I thought Recovery, the album after, yeah, I believe the album's called Recovery, was the last one I like thoroughly enjoyed.
That one, it wasn't bad for the first couple times I listened to it. It's not one of those Eminem albums that's gonna last like Marshall Mathers or Eminem show, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who can ever forget Mom's Spaghetti? You know. Alright, man. So, tell us a little bit about like your writing process going into like
writing. It's unpredictable. Cause so there's times where I'm just not focused on writing a song or whatever. But like, okay, for example, like right before I'm about to go to sleep, I'll come up with a line in my head, and I'll be like, oh, that's a good one. So I'll type it down or whatever. And there's a bunch of times that happens throughout the day where I do that, and when I do come down to actually write a song, I'll pick lines from that list to whatever fits the song or whatever. And there's that situation, and then there's another situation where I'll just hear Like as soon as I hear a beat or something, and I immediately know what I want to write, I write it down on the spot, and I'll have the song done, written in like an hour or so, probably less than that. So it's spontaneous. It's just natural. I gotta let it happen. I can't force myself to write, basically. Yeah.
Hey man, that's the best kind. Not restricted. It's all up in the head now.
Yeah.
First question on songs. I wanted to like, because or just in general with your songs, when you look at like popular hip hop artists, a lot of what the rap is more like, it's more high, it's what you would call like more braggy, right? It's more like, this is what I got, what do you have, you know?
Braggadocious, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, they just talk about the big stuff, and a lot of them wouldn't, you know, talk about, you know, looking at a 15-year-old girl and being like, damn, you know, a lot of people wouldn't admit that on a track.
Well, I didn't know she was 15.
Well,
yeah. That's the case.
Yeah, that's very important. But like, even though, or even then, like people, you wouldn't hear Drake talking about that, you know, like you wouldn't catch Jay-Z, you know, making a cipher, spitting that stuff out, you know. It's not something that a lot of people think of. So like, in writing, you just kind of like, or one of the things that really caught my eye about you is that you really, or you're not like afraid to tell them, you know, how it is, as long as you know it's like, you know, it's right, it's real. I thought that was really interesting. Is there anything that you thought was like difficult to write or talk about in any of your songs?
To be honest, the more, I guess the stories are more difficult to write, because for me it's really easy to be honest. Like, you know, I won't do shit today. Like, you know, I'm not gonna do anything. That's easy to write about. Yeah. Songs like damn it, well, like songs like Dark Hour or When I Loves Funk, those were more difficult because I actually had to, like, you know, stick to a theme or whatever and construct the story around that. Those are more difficult for me. But when it comes to just me talking about a certain situation that's easily relatable to me, then yeah, those come off the top easily.
Nice. Dude, funny story with Wanderlust Funk. I was like, a few days I posted, like, I was like, this is totally my theme, and I was just playing it. Like, I was playing I Won't Do Shit Today, and then my mom's like, what is that? I was like, this is called Midas, and she's like, okay. And so I played another song, and it was Wanderlust Funk, and she's like, what's this? I was like, this is Wanderlust Funk, and she's like, that's an amazing name. It's called what now? I said, Wanderlust Funk. And she's like, you gotta give props to that, man. So props to my mother.
Thank you.
So like, even when it came to songs, like, because even like, I'll do a little bit of poetry, but like, when I write down something that's more like personal, sometimes I'll have a hard time like conveying that into a way that like doesn't sound like, I don't know, I'm being like really dramatic over something small, or whether it's something big. I don't want to like I don't share too much with people I don't know, so like I'll go to like poetry readings or whatever, and I feel like giving that information out away. But with fiction too, like, that's a really personal story. Was that something you just kind of felt like it was something that you could share or tell a story about, or what was the reasoning behind, you know, putting that on the page?
Well, it's important to point out that the title of the song, you know, fiction, but you know, behind every story that I do tell, and well, unless I point it out, most of the stories I do tell are real. But Fiction 1 and Fiction 2 are based on just more than one stories, and I basically just combine them to one song. That is a situation that did happen to a friend of mine, but it wasn't anyone that I was close to. And then there was another situation where I was dating someone a long time ago, where she actually had a Xanax addiction, and I was on the phone, and like, she fell asleep, but I didn't know she fell asleep. Like, I seriously thought she OD'd or something. And I was trying to call, like, wake her up and stuff. And, you know, I didn't sleep that whole night. And then she called me in the morning like, "Oh, why you blowing my phone for?" I'm like, "I thought you died. Come on." But yeah, so that's the context behind the story.
Alright, see, I was actually wondering, like, fiction, when I was on the bus today, and I was talking to my little brother, and I was listening to music, and I was like, yeah, this is fiction. I was talking about Fiction 1, because I love the bit at the end where he's like, what is it? Shit. He's like, he's having sex with that girl. He probably doesn't even know his last name, you know, probably hasn't fallen on her Tumblr yet.
Yeah.
I fucking love that part. And I was laughing at that. He's like, what the hell is this in Fiction 1? He's like, why is it called Fiction 1? And I was like, it's the first part of like, love, I guess? Because it was like, you saw her as a goddess and you were like in love with this one girl. So that's what I jumped onto, but guess that's more my beat. So now you guys know. If anyone ever listens to this, they'll know.
Well, you know, I leave my stuff open for interpretation, so you can take it how you want. But that's where it came from, origins.
I got you.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of Dark Hour, you just come out of performance and you're like talking to yourself, and or more or less like an inner conversation, like, dude, that was shit. Dude, this wasn't shit. You know.
Yeah.
And what was like the thought process of just having a conversation behind you, like, or with yourself? And was it something you were just kind of like, you know what? At one point you had this mentality, and the mentality changed, or?
Well, the way it kind of comes off of me just always talking down on myself. Like, you know, every day I wake up and be like, man, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm fucking up. You know, that's kind of where it comes from. And damn it, what was I gonna say? Well, yeah, it just comes. It comes from a dark place, basically. It kind of ties in, you know, dark hour, dark place, and all that. But you know, it just comes from a negative, a dark time in my life where I just didn't know where I was going, and you know, stuff like that.
Later on in the album, you're like, nah, this is when dog days are over. You make sure that, you know, you bump yourself up. So was there like a high note or a high point, or was that something that was always planned throughout the album?
Well, I want to say there's two ways to look at the album. Well, at least two ways to look at that ending, as in, that's me just like snapping out of it and saying, okay, yeah, you know what, fuck that, I'm gonna take this in a different approach, and a more positive approach. Or you can take it as, because there is a story, there's like a subtle story throughout the whole album. It's not as obvious because I had to take out some narration now, just to not make it obvious. Or you could take it as basically that was how the album was supposed to start, basically.
I got you.
So you can take that as a part 2 of the intro, and then the real Dark Hour is not actually out yet. That's how you can take it.
Interesting. Well, that's another thing I love. It's like in albums, like especially like past, I want to say like 2008. Like, I wouldn't say there's a lot of stories in albums. It's more, you know, like people make an EP or like a single, and then they make an album around that single, and there's no story to it. You know, it's just kind of like song.
Yeah.
And themes, and I love that you had this like story going on. Like, one of the things after the second time going through the album, I kind of realized that there, like, I knew there was a story from just like the beginning, but like even like the song organization, and I felt like I was playing one of my songs on a CD player back when I was a kid, you know, just listening to like the stories or whatever. And through it goes down to Look Into My Eyes. Above that, or 2 songs above that, I believe it's I'm forgetting here. I feel bad, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, he says this one girl's checking you out. Then I believe it's the next song that you talk to this one girl, and then it ends with she. And
yeah.
I love that boy. And then it goes right into Look Into My Eyes, and that was something I missed as a kid, because growing up nowadays, it's more like, you know, just like before song after song, and not necessarily a story to an album. So I thought that was a really nice touch for it. Have you always
Yeah.
been like a fan of story and albums, or was it like?
Well, damn. Um, I guess I just wanted to, when I started this album, I wanted to take a different approach from when I did Dog Days. Dog Days, how that one came about was I was trying to make an album that was just made for the summer. Like, I was gonna be happy and stuff. I Won't Do Shit Today was the first song I recorded for that one.
Mm.
And then that summer was just complete shit. So I was just recording however I felt, whether I was talking mad shit or I was being depressing or whatever. And then I just threw it into an album, and that was Dog Days. And Dark Out.
Oh, got the call on hold up.
Alright, sorry, hello?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, someone tried to call me, my bad. Shit, where was I? Dark Hour, how that one came about was basically I wanted to do what I wanted to do with Dog Days was actually make a summer album and then basically have it like fall apart. Cause I'm in this depression or whatever. It's like I'm not in the mood for this. So the story of Dark Hour is me failing to make Dog Days the album I wanted to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and yeah, the story kind of just came up with itself, I guess. I'm not. I don't want to say I'm the biggest fan. I'm a fan of albums that do tell stories, but I'm as equal as of a fan of albums that don't really tie in at all. So.
Gotcha. That thing is like when I hear a lot of like samples or put in parts from just whatever. Do you ever, when creating your songs, do you just like listen to something and you're like, yeah, this will fit with the song, or is it like what's your process with sampling?
Sampling, well, when I'm digging for samples, I usually just listen to find a loop. Like, for example, for the first song of Dark Hour, that loop just came on in the first 5 seconds of the original sample. So I'm like, okay, I can make something out of this. And the first beat I'll make for a song is never going to be the final beat. The beat usually gets rearranged about 5 or 6 times before I actually decide, okay, this is how I want it to sound. I want it to sound when somebody else hears it. And when it comes to like stacking samples, it just has to reach out to me. Like, if I already have one song made and I'm trying to make another one, I'm digging through samples and I hear it, I'm like, I could put this one with the one I already made. And then, I'll experiment with that. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, then I'll just make another song with that sample.
I think probably one of my favorite sets of samples was a Dance Revolution. I was like, god damn.
Yeah, that one had the sample with the guitar and the female vocals, and then there is the jazz interlude type samples. So yeah, that song had 2 different samples on there.
Yeah, that was real nice. I was enjoying the hell out of that. It was the first time I listened to it. Because I ended up like when I first listened to the Dark Hours, I would like listen to a song, and if I really enjoyed a song like Coffee Shop, I would play that on loop. I was like, nah, I need to listen to the rest of this stuff. What if the next song is better than this one? And I get excited and all that.
Yeah.
It was a fun listen. But like, another question I have for you, man, is I think like what was when you think like at the beginning of Dog Days, when you're walking up on stage, was that like built off of a bad experience you had with one of your like performances, or was it more like, oh look, I'm not very popular, you're not giving me much attention, respect, I'm up here.
Yeah, that's the latter is kind of where it came off of, cause those 2 albums weren't necessarily like the only albums I ever released. I released like 3 other projects, but I completely scrapped them from the face of the earth because I just thought they were terrible at the end. But I guess it came from a place where I just felt like I wasn't getting recognized at all, because I do all this stuff myself, and even when I reach out to people, they're like, oh, they shrug me off like I'm nobody, but they don't understand the potential I have. So I started the album off like in a cocky way, like, oh, now y'all know who I am. Okay, fuck you guys, I don't need y'all now, or whatever. And then that goes into cocky, where I'm just talking mad shit. And then that's kind of where it comes from. Just me being I guess that's my way of being braggadocious. Not necessarily talking about money and stuff, but just me being like, oh, fuck you guys, I don't need you. In a way. Yeah.
I got you. With a funny story with cocky as well. When I was listening to that, I was listening to it with speakers, and then my friend was like, hey, who the hell is this? And I'm like, well, this is called Midas. And he was like, what's up with the beat? And it's like, and I was like, it's an instrumental. What else do you expect from it? He's like, nah, dude, it's weird. And at the first part, for some reason, the first part of the beat was weird. And then the second it switches to the second part, he's like, dude, who the fuck is this Link Me? I'm like, yeah, there it is. So he really enjoys the second half. I also thoroughly enjoy the second half of that. Like, it really goes in. The other question I have on one of those lines, bad time like anime antagonist. You have a character you were thinking of when you wrote that line?
Well, I was kind of thinking of damn it. I wasn't necessarily thinking of an antagonist in particular, but I remember I saw like a picture where somebody was dressing up. I guess he was like an A$AP Rocky fan, and he was just dressed up as something that it looked like it got scriptures all over it. And somebody called him out saying like, damn, he looked like he's straight out of Full Metal Alchemist or something. And then that was the inspiration behind the line, because there's a lot of people out here that are just straight out of a anime or something, or a cartoon. Like, they're just really flashy and stuff.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's one of those lines where I was like, oh, because like watching a few anime in my life, there were like times when either like the writers would be like, oh look, they're having a happy good time, and they just get completely fucked over. And I was like, maybe he watched one of them anime, just main character has a really, really bad time.
Yeah.
So with Cocky, like the switch up in instrumentals, like, was it something more like you created two and you were like, damn, I want to use both of these, or was it something more like I want to switch up like mid song?
The first part of the song, like I remember the day of making the song. I found the loop, and then I found that little section that you hear constantly throughout the first part, and I'm like, I could just rap over this. So I did that. I recorded it, and then the song was just gonna be just like that. It was gonna be like a minute and some seconds long, and I put it out, and people were loving it, and I'm like, okay. Then I deleted it so no one could hear it again, because I was gonna save it for the album. And then I'm like, okay, I should probably make this longer. So then, I found a different section of the sample, flipped that up, and then I actually added drums, and then that's how it came about to be. I just wanted to make it longer at the end.
I got you.
Yeah.
So with how you met like some of the people you had in the album, like Gimmer, Kill Bill, and Reezy?
Repeat that.
Oh, like how'd you meet some of the people that you had featured on like your albums, like Gimmer or Reezy or Kill Bill?
The first person I got in contact was Grimoire. I remember I was under a different alias at the time. It was DTK, and I was just making these weird ass beats where I would sample obvious anime and video game songs, and I had a mixtape full of beats out there, and I was posting them on my Tumblr, and I guess he just happened to be following me. I was like, yo, I really like this stuff and whatever, blah blah blah. And he was telling me like, oh, I rap here and there, but I don't know if it's that great. I told him to send me like an example, and I thought it was pretty good. I was like, oh, we can work with this. So then it just started from there. Me and him been working together ever since. I produce. I'm here and there in a couple albums. There was one album I produced like half of it, and yeah, I plan on putting him at least one feature on every one of my albums. So,
Oh.
Reezy, I met I dropped a project called Sunday Slaps 2. Oh no, it was before. He hit me up first. I guess he heard one of my songs. I don't know what song he heard, but he heard one of my songs. He hit me up saying, "Let's work." I sent him like 5 beats. He picked one and sent me his verse. I sent my verse the next day, and then people were loving the song. Like it really came out to be a great song. And ever since then, I just feel like we have, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't want to say, yeah, we have kind of a chemistry on the beat, because like he's more of a mellow guy, and I'll come in and I'll attack you for no reason and stuff. So it's kind of a balance for me and him. So me and him are still working together, of course. Kill Bill, damn, why did I meet Kill Bill? Shit, I'm pretty sure I met him through Grimoire. Yeah, Grimoire asked him for a feature first. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. And then me and him exchanged back and forth, and then finally I got him on a feature. So that's how it goes.
Alright. So like with some of the songs that you didn't put on the albums, or like some songs you can just see on like SoundCloud, or like Watch the Stars and shit. Yuna, I believe. Yuna and Mountain.
Oh, the Yuna remix.
Yeah. Like that stuff. Was that something you were more like, I don't think this fits the album, or just something that was like, I really want to make this, and so release it, but I don't think it fits the album?
Yeah, there's times where, well, that's usually how I start an album, is because I'll make a song and then be like, okay, I feel like this is an album-worthy song. Let me make other songs, and then I can throw them all together or whatever. And then sometimes I'll make a song. It's like, this is a good song, but I don't really want to throw it anywhere. So then I'll just throw it out there. So like the Yuna remix, I was just messing with the song, and I just threw it out there, and people liked it. Watch the Stars. I was listening to C-Lab beats, and then that beat in particular stuck out, because I already had a hook for it in my head. So I just, recorded it. I sent it to him. He liked it. He posted it. I posted it. And that's how it came about.
So what was like one of your favorite songs that you made on any of your albums? Like what was one of the more fun ones to create for you?
Fun ones? Well, I can, off top for Dark Hour, Wanderlust Funk was probably the most fun, because the way it came out, like that's an example of that song started out way different when I was first making. Like those drums were not there till last minute. At first it was gonna be like a slow paced song. I was still gonna rap in double time, but it was a slow paced song. The drums were a bit fat and whatever. And then I was digging through my drum samples for another song, and I had recorded drums from my friend J-Fro, who he helped me out with a couple tracks on that album. I was digging through the samples I recorded from him, and then I heard the one that I put on Wanderlust, and I'm like, let me mess with this. And I chopped it up, I ran it through a filter, that's why it sounds all dusty and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, and I just tied it in. Like I went to that project, I threw the drums on this one, and then I just went from there. So Wanderlust Funk definitely was fun to make, cause I don't know, that one was, cause it's probably the most, like it doesn't sound like any of my other songs. Like there might be some songs that sound similar, but that one song sticks out the most to me. from Dog Days, Cocky, because that one is just. I wish I could just do. I want to do more songs where I'm just talking mad shit for no reason, over like random soul samples. That song is just it's so short and sweet. That's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm always listening to him like, damn, why can't this be longer, man?
And see from Dog Days, and definitely the last song too. That one, like I said in the song where I recorded that song like 2 days before I had to release, and like I wrote that song 2 days before I had to release it too, and like I guess there was like I had a lot of emotions pent up, and I just released it on the song, and it made it sound good, and the way I structured that song, like it started out with like a trap beat, and then it goes into like a faster tempo sample, and then it ends with the trap beat. That was a last minute decision too.
I mean, these songs, like I said, are pretty awesome. And with the whole like you making video game beats, anime related beats, like are there any artists that like you heard of? Because me, I know like artists of like Natsu Fuji or like Killing Spree or Raisin Man. Were you like getting into the scene and understanding those people, or is it more like this is just a fun time?
Well, you mean like in terms of like when I was sampling anime and video games and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I remember the first sample I ever used was Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And I sampled that song thinking, oh man, no one's ever done this before. Let me try this. So I just, I started sampling like mad fucking video game soundtracks and stuff. And then I actually got on SoundCloud and then started listening to other people. And I realized, man, a lot of people do this. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. So I kind of, like, after that point, I kind of just stayed away. And I started seeing, like, I guess people were labeled as anime rappers.
Yeah.
That's all they rap about. And their content, like, they're not taken seriously. I did not want to be affiliated with that. So I just stayed away from any obvious anime or video game samples after that point. If I do sample a video game or an anime, I'm going to make sure it's in the most obscure way.
I got you.
So, yeah.
Well, there are like rappers out there that are still like for that same reason actually kind of stepped away. Like I know artist Shizzy Six, he does he did a lot of anime raps. In fact, he called himself the anime rap god for quite some time.
Oh, I heard about him.
Yeah.
I heard about, yeah.
And he did his last one, which I believe was Samurai Champloo, because he wanted to do more like, what you would call real hip-hop or whatever. I always thought more like, like video games anime taken a lot as like a joke, but you can construe a lot through, just using a sample from that. Like Dearly Beloved, like a lot of the hip-hop instrumentals for like a song like that, like they tend to sound really good because it's a good song, and if you can play with it right. I always thought like sampling was interesting off of that, how you can just make music like or something completely whatever, just your own and kind of own it.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you have like a favorite sample of yours, like a song or a song?
Oh man, damn. Well, just based off the two albums I have out now. Damn it. Actually, this one should be easy for me. It's probably the ones off of Dog Days. It's Farewell Summer, the first sample that you hear with the I don't know, I think it's Rhodes, and then there's like a bass line that comes in. That was like my favorite sample at the time, and I loved it so much. That one, the one I used for Cocky, the one I used for Dog Days, for that album. And then on Dark Hour, the ones for Dark Hour, definitely the one I used for Hovercraft. Because I had that beat sitting around for a while, and like, I guess I was waiting I was just waiting for the right time to use it, and I'm like, you know what? Now I have to use it. Hovercraft and damn, I'm forgetting my own track list. Hold on, I have it right here. Dark Hour. Oh, Hovercraft. That's a Hovercraft. The song is called Any Day Now. It was originally called Hovercraft because that's the name I used when I made the beat.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the sample I use for The Sky Is Falling. And Keep It Moving. Because that one was fucking crazy when I made it.
So on like Dark Hour, with a song that really stuck out to me from the album was Pussies and Rent. And it was more like like a lot of the song is like you being expressive, but Pussy and Rent was more like of a statement, you know, like one of the lines is you leave, you know, acting like you're the big old spouse, but we all know it's the woman who's really the man of the house. And I don't think I quote that perfectly, but got a picture. Like, was that when you were making that song? Was it like, I want to make a statement on this, or was it something that you had experienced recently that thought or made you think I should just put this on the album?
A little bit of both. Where, yeah, this is stuff I've experienced, you know, as a man and whatever, and I just felt like, you know, we take females for granted so damn much, and I just hate like growing up around people where hyper masculinity was just obviously like, you know, dominant or whatever. And you know, sometimes it's not every day where I just look at a lady and say, oh, I want to fuck her. No, I don't do that. Like, but people make it seem like that's all they fucking think about. Like, there's more than that. Like,
yeah.
And they want to like make it seem like that's the whole world revolves around pussy or something. Like, there's more than that. Like, I don't know about you, but you know, I love music. You know, books are cool. I like reading manga. You know, this and that. But I guess it just comes from experience, from like talking to friends or even family members where they're like, oh, yo, I was talking to this one girl, whatever. Or they'll be like, oh, how come you haven't you haven't brought a girl around in a long time? Like, I'm just not focused on that right now. Shit. And it definitely, one thing that happens, it still happens today, is my coworker, who I always meet up on Sunday to work with him. We'll go around the property and whatever. He's like, yo, I saw this fine ass girl on the other side of the property. Oh man, she was looking thick, she was looking good. I'm like, cool, man. So you're gonna tell me every Sunday a story like this? Like, this man has a wife and 2 kids. Like, it's cool that, you know, you're not gonna just be chained down like that, but there's more than that, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Like, people of that really think like, oh, yeah, you know, the wedding ring, the good old golden noose, you know.
And another thing, it's like, I just hate when people, like, well, it's one thing, like, to call me a geek because I'm not all about women, but it's like, it's to the point where they'll say, oh, man, you gotta be gay, man, because, you know, I haven't seen a girl around you and stuff. All you ever care about is your music. It's like, nah, I'm just not trying to put my time into women right now. I want to worry about my music. I want to worry about me. And, you know, that's a couple things behind it.
I feel you, and society nowadays, like, especially when I'm amongst like a group, because guys are like completely different when you're like in presence of like a few females, but once they're gone, you know, they can be really nice and they can say bye.
Oh,
like, dude,
God.
Did you see them girls though? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Girls are more looked at as something like an object, like, you know, I got
exactly.
I got
like
this trophy. Look, you know.
And like, as if like they're our servants or something. Like, nah, we got brought into the world by a female. We gotta serve them.
Yeah.
Like,
You did the easy part. You came
yeah.
with her.
Exactly. So I don't know. They want to act like, oh, like I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, I figured it. And for like your interludes, were those just beats that you really liked and like I want to put this on the album?
Uh, I was really close to putting an interlude after every song, but I realized no, that's too much. So I just left enough so you can understand. But well, I just left enough so it can tie into each song effectively. Like at the end of, I believe it was Hell All Day. At the end of Hell All Day, my friend goes, "Hey, that girl's checking you out."
Yeah.
And then it goes into Pussy in the Rat when I'm talking about, oh, like, that's cool that she's looking at me, but it ain't all about pussy.
Yeah.
And then it goes into me talking into the girl, and then me, glamorizing me wanting to be with the girl. So it was like a contradiction kind of. But yeah.
And then straight right into Rooftop Blues, I believe, is the interlude.
It goes, it's Fall Up and then Rooftop Blues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Rooftop Blues. Was that what you're asking about in the first place?
Yeah, like your decision on putting in like interludes.
I just want to have like that one moment in the album that's just, it kind of just it prepares you for the next session of the album basically, and also my opportunity to just do something different. Like with Dog Days, it was Jacket Weather Incoming. I had my friend do some guitar, and I was like, okay, I made it into a beat, but it wasn't anything I wanted to rap on. It just sounded really good as an instrumental, so I wanted to put it in there, and then it leads into the darker songs of the album in Dog Days. And then for this one, it basically leads into the more darker songs on Dark Hour.
Yeah, I know when I listened to Fiction 2, that little break, like in the song.
Took a L.
Yeah, that was, because that's another thing with like hip hop, is that when people make songs, they don't really consider, like, especially when like I'll listen to a song and they'll be like, it'll leave it on a really good note, like a really good spot to drop the song, and then I'll just want to pause the music and go like, damn, and just like think for a minute. And Fiction 2, like when you added that part at the end, there was like this like silence, and then I wanted to say like a minute or like 50 seconds of like sample, and I thought that was a really good touch to like the song, because I know there are a few artists out there who just like don't ever think of that. And like I've always had this conversation with my friends where it's on a Logic's album, the one with Thalia. It's like this robot he has kind of speaking for him at the end of each song, and we thought it was annoying because like we had that same feeling, like as soon as the song ends I just kind of want to think about it and zone out and have a pause, not have something immediately happen. So with Fiction 2, on that little pause, was like that the reason you made the break, or was there another reason?
Well, the end of Fiction 2, right? Well, right after I said she OD'd.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of wanted that part to weigh into the listener, like, cause I kind of just hit I hit the listener with that all of a sudden, and then it just gives them a moment to realize, oh, okay, the girl he was on the phone with just killed herself, and then I just let the beat ride, to kind of just let the mood settle in for a quick moment, and then it goes into Universal. I don't like rushing into songs, really. I like to space. Well, there's some songs that I would like to go directly into, and then there's some moments I want it to like last a bit longer, so I'll space it out.
All right.
Yeah.
And how much did you like go around and performing, and what's it like, or what are your like best experiences with performing?
To be honest, I haven't had really any, cause we've been looking. Me and my friend Cyrus, we He told me about some agency that can possibly get me to perform in Miami or whatever. And we went out there, we met up with the guys, and they're like, "Oh, well, we don't necessarily never mess with, a hip hop project." And as soon as they said that, I'm like, man, they're not gonna get me anywhere. They're not gonna know what to do with me. And they're like, oh, they invited us to like a freaking house show, and we went, and I'm going up to them as a hip hop project, and they invited me to go to like a punk show or whatever. I'm like, this is cool, but are y'all expecting me to do this? Because y'all not getting this out of me. Like, I'm trying to do a rap here. And then there's another thing that they invited me to, where like you're recording in front of an audience, but like it seems cooler for like a rock band to record in front of an audience because you actually hear them.
Yeah.
Now me, like when it comes to just rap, all you need is a microphone, and then that's it. So we were there. I'm like, wait, this is it. I'm thinking we were gonna perform, but no, we're recording. So I figured, what's the point if I can just do this at home? So we didn't do anything. We just left. So yeah, we're kind of just. I was gonna wait till it just comes to me, but I'm gonna start looking around again to see if I can get a gig or something. Because I would like to perform often. I know I need that experience.
I'm gonna come over here to Washington. I need to catch one of you guys.
Soon, hopefully.
Make sure you get bid to come up here. That's all I'm saying. Come play at the Space Needle, or not Space Needle, Key Arena, or like the Tacoma Dome or something like that.
I'm trying to be out in the West Coast soon, so hopefully that'll happen.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure. Well, that pretty much wraps up my questions, man. I don't think I have too much else to ask about, man. But thanks for coming on, dude. This is fucking awesome.
No problem. This was cool.
All right. Well, guys, you can find Gold Midas at Twitter, all that stuff below, SoundCloud. I highly recommend you guys go listen. If you guys made it all the way through this, then there's a chance that you're very interested in his music. Whether you're coming back to this or whatever. I'm going to put the audio version of this up on SoundCloud, and I'm going to put the video on YouTube. So whatever version you're listening to, all the good shit, go find the good old Gold Midas and give a shit a like, That's
For
pretty much
sure.
it. You got any last words, man?
Rest in peace, Summer.
There you go.